So, okay, we have everybody here and we'll get started. Happy to see you. And I was doing something this morning where I was sitting quite still for a while. And then I just felt really cold. I got up, I was like, oh, I'm cold. It's probably only about, it's like probably 60 something degrees out there. So it's not freezing, but maybe some of you also would like just to kind of get the blood flowing here before we focus on the breath. So let's warm the hands up a little bit. And this is a way to deepen the breath. It will have a warming effect. We're just going to lift the arms up, breathe in, and then make fisted hands here, just gently fisted hands. Exhale and breathe out. Okay, so you can do this slowly, but it will kind of get the blood flowing, the energy moving. It will oxygenate the body, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, and one more time. Inhale. And exhale, and then just hold the arms like so. I call this the V for victory position, and it's kind of uplifting and just kind of gets us in the right place, I think, for our practice together today. And then we'll breathe in, breathe out, relax the arms, and take a few shoulder rolls here. So if you were working at your desk or doing other things, we often get a little tight in the upper back and shoulder area. I've said before, I usually focus on rolling up and back with the shoulders to counter the effects of rounding forward that we do during the day. And then we'll just relax the shoulders and let's bring the hands to the thighs and turn the head a little side to side. Just give the neck a stretch. And then we'll come back to center. And as we always do in yoga, we'll focus on the breath for a little bit. And you can soften the gaze or close the eyes. And just remember that when you close the eyes, you just want to make sure you still feel steady and stable in your chair. So some days I like to see this solid ground there in front of me. But whatever feels best, we're just going to direct the awareness inward. And this means just deepening the breath, letting go of busy thoughts for the day, letting go of plans, questions, to-do lists, and beginning to feel that we can arrive in the present moment, here and now. And you may hear the sound of your breath, or just observe the sensation of the breath as it moves in and out of the body. And this will have a calming effect, and again, helps us just to step back from those busy aspects of our day. As we quiet the body and the mind, we can attune to more subtle sensations. So take a little scan, just notice where you're at today in your body, with your energy levels, your emotions, your thoughts, whatever may affect the practice. And please modify if you need to, or skip anything if it's uncomfortable for you or doesn't feel right. And then we'll lift the palms. So if your eyes are closed, you might open them just a little bit, just kind of soften the gaze here. And this is the gesture I take just for this moment of opening, perhaps to an intention, an affirmation. So maybe one word such as clarity or patience, or one that came to me a while back was perseverance, which has helped in certain instances. Peace, tranquility. With our intention set, we'll lift the arms, and if you want to, you can give a little clap. I know that might not be something you want to do if you have dogs around, but if you care to, in Qigong, they do some clapping, and it's kind of nice. And then bring the hands down and interlace the fingers, and just to warm up all the joints of the hands, we'll squeeze the hands together and release. Let's do that 2 more times. Squeeze and release. Squeeze, and then open the feet a little wider. And you still have your hands clasped. It can be kind of a soft clasped position of the hands, but we will stir the pot. And we know this is a warm-up stretch, but I kind of like it just as an idea of stirring good things up for ourselves on this Tuesday. And then we'll stir the other way. Okay, we'll come back to center. And we'll take our Saguaro cactus arms. Now you can bring the feet in a little bit. I'm going to turn a bit sideways so you can see. The first movement here is the one where the forearms come together and apart. So we breathe in and breathe out. And you may be more comfortable keeping the spine long as I have it here. And I'll turn a little more. You don't have to turn, but just so you can see, you can also flex and extend. So, you know, depending on how much you've been moving already this morning, you can get right into this deeper version with the lifting of the chest and the rounding of the back, or keep the spine straight as I showed at the beginning. A couple more times. Breathe in, breathe out. Last time. Inhale, exhale. You know, let's bring the arms down, and I have a stretch. It's not really new for me, but I had kind of forgotten about it. So it'll be due for all of us on Tuesday here. Just patter the feet a little, relax the arms, and this is going to be a twist, okay? So we can also do it standing, but I thought we could try it seated. So you're just going to take one arm, maybe your left arm, across your body like so, and then back, and other arm across and back. So it doesn't seem like much. You might want to take the feet a little wider, but if you get going faster, you'll feel it a little bit more. So go gently at first, and then watch this. We're going to do 2 pulses and 2 pulses. Yeah. So I was just randomly taking a walk yesterday, and it came back to me to do this. So I'm alternating between 2 pulses and then just once and once. So however you do this is fine, but you'll feel the stretch as you go one direction and then the other. Again, I'm just going to do once more to each side. All right, let's actually do one more with 2 pulses. There we go. Now we're getting warm. Come back to center, breathe in, and we'll hinge at the hips, and you can hold on to the frame of the chair here and elongate the spine, get that nice stretch through the arms, all the way really through the neck. And then just coming back up, and we'll patter the feet a little bit. I think we'll go back to the feet being wide apart, and we'll just do, let's first do a few circles here. And that would be to the side, forward, to the other side, and around. And I'm just acclimating. I've changed chairs. I now have kind of a dining room chair, so it doesn't creak anymore. But for months, I would do this with my small fold-up chair, and I was so used to the creaking sound. So we'll go the other way. Now, if there's anything that's creaking, I can't blame it on the chair, I guess. Take it kind of just nice and easy. Again, to the side, forward, to the other side, and around. And then we'll be back here with our feet wide. We're going to open the arms, and this will be that diagonal stretch. Now you can go across with one arm to your knee, or go farther down towards your ankle. And then we come back up, and it's kind of a windmill-like movement, breathing in and breathing out. So a little bit more twisting. We'll do it once more to each side. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out. And we'll come back to center. Now I'm going to have us just turn a little bit. You could go with your arms down here to your left. And we're turning, about halfway to the side. I'm not going all the way to the side, but I'm just turning a little bit. So we're not facing quite straight towards our screens. There should be a little room between your body and the back of your chair. So this is kind of a modified low lunge. And I'm going to continue working with the arms here. We're just going to reach and pull. So a lot of these movements early on today really do warm us up and bring a little flexibility and mobility into the upper body especially. Okay, reach and pull, just relaxing the shoulders. Okay, and then we're just going to hold this low lunge position. So you can reach the arms up. You could do Swirl cactus arms, or go a little higher to frame your head. And if you felt like it, you might move your outside foot a little. You could even lean back a bit, which is how lunges are sometimes done. And I'll just remind you, you don't have to lift the arms all the way overhead. So we want a nice steady breath here. And then just relax the arms and bring the feet close to one another. So you're turned a little bit sideways. We'll do one round of the wave, just to elongate the spine, coming down and up. And then if you're okay with this sort of side facing position, I'm going to have you take your inside leg, which I believe is your left leg. And you all know that this is what I do most practices with the chair, is just to work the knee joint a little bit. And I'm just straightening and bending. Okay, feeling some gratitude for that hard working knee joint, which takes a lot of pounding over the years. All right, now we're gonna do a little stomping here, and you may need to adjust where you are in your chair. The stomp goes like this, flexing the foot and just taking the foot down and up. So I call it a stomp, but you know, it's whatever you feel like doing. If you want to really make it vigorous, you can, or just gently. You don't have to lift as high as I'm going, just see what feels best. Okay, now the next time you lift the leg, see how you feel about taking it right on top, not the figure four, but a cross-legged position. Okay, we're sitting tall here. We're just going to lean forward and stretch out the lower back with this. And then come up, and we've done some twisting already. So we'll see how it feels to go away from our screens, meaning towards the back of your chair. Okay, you can have one hand to the chair, maybe one hand to your knee, and just rotate and turn as far as you're comfortable going. And then we'll come back and we'll rotate and turn just briefly the other way for a counter stretch. Great, back to center. And then uncross the legs and let's patter back towards the neutral position in the chair, facing forward. And we'll do a forward fold here, reaching up. And remember, you can do a half forward fold. So, you know, each person's situation is different. Some people don't feel as comfortable rounding the back. I'll turn so you can see, but you can face right towards me. If you are comfortable heading on down, just let the, you know, gravity do its work. Your head will go down, maybe even between your knees. And then you can really relax your shoulders and your neck. And this is good, of course, for, you know, internal organs as well. It's a little internal massage. And we'll come up slowly, especially if you had your head down all the way, really take your time. And I always like to draw a circle to kind of neutralize. Breathe in and breathe out. And this is really a technique from Qigong, breathing in and breathing out. So we're good to go to do everything to the second side, and that would be taking your feet wide and turning. Now I am, you know, pretty close to the edge of my chair, probably on the outer third of the chair, so I have the ability to kind of pivot and to get myself steady here, turning not all the way sideways, but you know, maybe halfway from center to the other side. And you want to engage your tummy here and watch out for the back of the chair. And this time we'll let's see, I think we did it like this before. Let's try both arms at the same time. So breathing in, breathing out. And with the two arms working at once, you can really squeeze the shoulder blades together here and get a good stretch through the arms here. I'm working my hands also opening and closing. Good. Inhale, exhale, two more times. Okay, and then we'll be holding this kind of seated lunge. And again, you could have Saguaro, Cactus arms. This really does feel best for a lot of people. If you do like framing the head, you can reach all the way up. And then be aware of your tummy strength, so a little sense of engaging the core as you possibly lean back. And this is optional, of course, to add the back bend. And then we'll relax the arms. And we'll bring the feet close together and you'll be kind of just turning a little bit sideways again. So make sure you're secure in your chair. And let's see, we did one round of the wave at this point on the other side. So up, down, and back. And then getting into the knee joint. So the leg that's closest to the back of the chair, I think your right leg, we're going to straighten and bend. And just see how things feel here. Okay. We'll hold, you know, this is a funny thing. I think on the first side, a lot of times I forget to circle the foot and point and flex. And then by the second side, I remember it. So I'll have you do this in a moment to the other foot, but, you know, get that little extra movement in for your ankle. I was thinking so much about stomping. I think I forgot the ankle stretch, but here we are. Okay. And now I'm going to just adjust in my chair a little so I can get that foot down and up, stomping away. This is quite strengthening for the leg. Before we cross the leg, let's just go ahead and lift the outside foot. And just quick, because I think I did forget it on the first side, just your circling both directions. And pointing and flexing. Great. There we go. Okay, now we're evened out. We'll go back to the inside leg, which is your right leg, the one that we were stomping. And we're going to cross it over, if that feels comfortable. And then you can lean forward and give that low back a little feeling of spaciousness here, stretching it out. And then come up, and we're going to be twisting towards the back of the chair. And, you know, I like to hold on. This is a pretty high back, but it still works. It's good and solid. So I'm going to put my hand there, my other hand on my knee, and twist and rotate. Okay, it feels pretty good just to look back over the back shoulder there. And then a counter stretch, just going the other way. And then back to center, we'll uncross. And we'll patter, patter, patter back towards our neutral position. Let's again take one round of the wave. And this really elongates the spine. And as I say, it kind of brings us to neutral after the twists that we've done. We'll roll the shoulders. And I think before we come to standing, I'm just going to get our boat pose taken care of. This is a little more work for the midsection. I do this one most practices also. And you can face straight towards me. I'm turning just so you can see the possibilities. So for boat pose, Navasana, we start by leaning back. And you'll just need to be far enough from the back of the chair so you can do that. So just, you know, notice with your feet still to the floor, the work in the midsection as you simply lean back a little. Now you can stay there or lift one foot and then the other. And there shouldn't be any, of course, pain or discomfort in the lower back especially. So please be mindful. And then I'm going to adjust a little bit in my chair. I'm going to consider lifting my feet right off the floor. And, you know, this is a pose that works some days, other days, maybe we're not in the mood for it. I've had students who would cross their ankles and kind of hang out here or do other things. But for today, just a couple more breaths, maybe just like this. And then come back down with the feet and just reach up towards the sky. And you could do Swirl, Cactus arms if that feels better. So we've contracted the core when we're strengthening it. And now we're sort of just opening up, elongating. It would be a counter stretch to the core strengthening. And then relax the arms. And we'll come to standing after we do a few shoulder shrugs up and down. And we want to just let go of anything heavy, tight, or tense that may possibly be on our shoulders today. Good. And then as you relax the shoulders, let's consider our transition to standing. And we always, want to be mindful as we're moving from one phase of the practice to the other. So take your time coming up and use, furniture around you if you'd like. I'm going to adjust my screen as I come up. Let me just check here. Okay. And I think it might be good to have our chairs off to the side. If for purposes of balance, you want to have the chair in front of you, you can. But I've got a few things here today that I think will be best maybe with the chair slightly out of the way. Okay. So we've made it to standing, and we'll just take a moment. Let's go ahead with our hip circles, the feet a little wider than the hips, and hands just like this, circling one direction. I find this a nice transition into the standing phase of the practice, and it really invites mobility and flexibility into the lower back and hips. So circle the other way. Now movement, I think I used to do this more in the summer season when I actually was going swimming occasionally at the Jewish Community Center because their pool is so beautiful. I haven't been swimming lately, but as you finish the circles, watch out for your chair. Consider what it would feel like to you. Imagine that you're doing the backstroke. Okay, so just kind of floating in the pool or on a lake. And you can modify if your shoulder isn't happy with the full big circle that I'm showing here. Inhaling and exhaling. We'll finish up our backstroke. And I'm going to follow that with what I call pulling prana. And I think I've done this before on a Tuesday. We're going to tilt the pelvis forward, extend the arms, breathe in. And then as you breathe out, tilt the pelvis back, make fists and pull back. I learned this quite a while ago from one of my former yoga teachers. Prana is like chi or life force. So pulling prana is really awakening the energy. Inhale, exhale. It's a great stretch. It warms us up. Sometimes I'll just do it before I take a walk in the morning just to get myself moving. Let's do one more time. Inhale, exhale. Good. And just relax the arms and flex the wrists if that feels okay in the joints there. And you can soften the legs a little bit. And I've done the monkey stretch in the past. This is what I call the penguin shuffle, more like little penguins. And you'll just stretch side to side, but have that flexed hand position to work the wrists a bit. Okay, we'll come back to center. Now we've done a lot of different types of movements already. So let's pause for a second, breathing in and breathing out, bringing one hand to the chest, one hand to the belly. And as we do this, we can feel that we're lifting the chest a little bit to stand up nice and tall. So at the end of the day, you know, I'm more like this usually just because I'm a little tired. I'm not thinking about it. But at this point, we can just feel that nice sense of lifting the chest, reaching up to the crown of the head, and just relaxing, feeling the breath, coming back to our intentions or affirmations if we have one. And then we'll relax the arms, shake things out. And I think we'll do a high lunge. And personally, I think it's nice to have the chair off to the side. Again, you could be behind your chair if that feels better. I'm going to have you start with your right foot back, but I'm going to offer a little challenge here, which is to move the foot back slowly. So I'm doing it without touching the chair, but you might want to have your hand to the chair, okay, because it requires a little balance. All right, and then we'll just come right to our Saguaro cactus position. So one leg back, one leg forward, tummy engaged, and let's go ahead and pulse a little bit. So I'm going to press forward as I breathe in and come out of the lunge a little as I breathe out. Okay, inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale, exhale. Now, as we did in the low lunge, we'll hold here just for a couple seconds, and you could keep the Swirl cactus arms. You could also frame your head. You can also lean back a little bit. So we're working balance, we're strengthening. We're in the present moment, which is a nice place to be. And then bring the arms down. And we're going to come forward. Now, again, use your chair if you need to. You may wiggle your front foot a little out to the side, to your left, if you're a mirror image, because we're going to bring our bodies, our upper bodies forward. And you could stay here. You could also interlace your hands. And, you know, about like this, I think is good. But some people do like to bring their head quite a ways down inside of the knee even. So I'll let you just go as far down as you want to go. Ooh, and then come up very slowly. We are still in the lunge here. So use the chair if you'd like. And then just to come out of the lunge, same sort of idea, press off of the back foot and just kind of like you're going in slow motion, have a couple seconds balancing. And then there we are, safe and sound, where we began everything. Breathe in, breathe out. And just relaxing. Often a little shake is kind of nice. Or just maybe even a gentle kind of twist side to side. And then we'll do everything to the second side. Okay. So let's prepare. And I'm turning a little bit sideways. You can face right towards me, but this way I think you have a better view. I'm going to try to do it without touching the chair, but whatever is best. So your second side, I believe your left foot. There it is, back where we want it. We'll have our Saguaro cactus arms here. And once you're set up, we'll breathe in and breathe out. And I really like these kind of dynamic approaches to standing poses because they keep us from getting rigid or tight. You know, it keeps us nice and relaxed. And then we're going to hold here. You can keep the arms like this or lift up and keep breathing. And then bring the arms down. And you may want to take your foot a little bit out to the side, to the right. We'll be coming forward. And it could be about like this. You may like to clasp your hands behind your back. And just because I'm not kind of fuzzy headed today, as I have been some days, I think I'm going to try bringing the head down. I had a day, I think it was Monday. Was it Monday? No, it was last week, I think, or I can't even remember. We'll come up slowly, but I really didn't sleep well the night before. And that can be a factor with balance and other things. So, depending how you slept, may affect how you take things. So we'll be coming up from the forward fold position and then slowly coming off of that back foot. And then landing 2 feet to the floor. Good. Breathe in. And if you remember, this is called a chi wash. We're going to bend the legs and scoop down, imagining that you're scooping up some bright light or crystal clear water, whatever imagery helps, and wash it over you. And take that again. Inhale. And exhale. And then just pause, and I'll show you Miru Danda Mudra, and I call it mountain mudra. Miru is the word for mountain in Sanskrit. So it's kind of a thumbs up position. It's a hand gesture, which is good for stability, for posture, for alignment. And we'll take just a couple breaths with our mountain mudra. And then let's relax the arms. And we'll go ahead and take the feet wide here. Now, because you both have straps or something that resembles a strap, if you want to have it nearby, we could have some fun with it in just a little bit, but we'll do a couple other things first. So your wide stance, this is horse stance when you bend the legs like so. And if the knees and hips agree to it, you could straighten and bend a few times. Okay, so this is strengthening for the whole lower body. And then bend the legs and adjust the feet so you're comfortable. We're going to go back to stirring the pot, which we did seated. And it has a little different feel to it when you're standing. Okay, and let's stir the other way. And maybe about 3 times. I don't know, depends how fast you're going. Okay, we'll come back to center. And we'll get into our warrior 2. So this, of course, is a very traditional yoga pose. To be a mirror image, you could pivot a little bit to your right, bend your right leg. Now, I'm not turning all the way. That would be kind of for the high lunge like this. The warrior 1, your tummy and chest are really open towards the screen in front of you. Okay, so feel that sense of openness in the front of the body. And then you'll be adjusting your feet as needed. You're going to extend the arms. And as I said before, if we go in and out of the pose, if we take a dynamic or fluid approach, it keeps us relaxed. We don't get tight, rigid, kind of holding and gripping. Keeps things nice and comfortable. So I'm just going out like so, and then in. Let's do that one more time. And then we're going to hold warrior 2. And this is a real good pose for strength, endurance, stamina. Try to relax the shoulders. Relax the face. Just keep your breath steady. And then we'll go into a side stretch. Now I'll do a little deeper side stretch with the strap in a moment, but you can take your arm overhead like so, or straighten it. I like the hand or the forearm to the thigh. In a couple seconds. Okay, and then we'll just come up with care so we never rush these transitions. And before we go to the second side, let's bring the feet together. Okay, so just kind of step or hop or heel toe the feet. Give the legs a good little shake, give the arms a shake. Okay, just keeping nice and relaxed. I'm sort of a fan of shaking. It looks funny, but it feels good. And then we'll go back to our wide stance. We'll be preparing for warrior 2 to the second side. So you'll be turning your left foot towards the left and then your right foot at a slight angle. And as I say, I'm not turning all the way in the direction that I've turned my feet. I'm keeping the tummy and chest open towards the front there. Okay. And then this is our setup, and we'll go in and out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do one more round like that. And then we're just going to hold. So we want to have the arms straight, but the shoulders relaxed. The gaze will be over your left fingertips. And you can't see your own face, of course, but just kind of recognize the feeling of when the face is relaxed. You know, the face responds to emotions and intellectual engagement. So none of that going on here. We're just nice and relaxed in the brain and in the body. And then we'll take our side stretch, and it could look like this, or a little farther overhead if you want to. And then we'll come back up, and we'll take time just to come back to center and to bring the feet together again. And if you have your strap or scarf or belt nearby, let's just go ahead and take it behind our backs. And as you bring the feet about hip width apart, you can hold on to the strap like so. Take a big breath in, kind of pull the strap tight, and then come forward, bending the legs and just going as far down as you want to go. So we've had a few forward folds already today, so you'll be aware if you're comfortable taking the head down towards the floor, but you get a lot of benefits by going just part way also. Okay, keep pulling that strap tight. Lift the arms, if you can, away from your back. And then come up slowly. Keep hold of your strap if you would. And just pause here. So I know I'm going through a lot of different movements today, and I want to just make sure we all have time to, as I say, recalibrate. So letting your body adjust. Okay, and then with the strap, we'll have a little fun. We'll go back to a wide stance. I think we'll have fun. We'll have an experience at least. No, I think this is fun. It's going to be a side stretch, so to your right, with the option of the arms behind your back. Okay, now one could do this with the fingers interlaced, but having a strap available is nice. So I'm going to show you the back side of this pose. It's going to look like this. I'm pulling the strap tight as we just had when we had the feet together. And then I'm going to take my side stretch, and I'll show from this view, which is the way I think you're all going. You want to roll the top shoulder back if you can. So it's a side stretch, but it's a very nice chest opening stretch. Okay, a couple seconds here, just noticing what you feel. And then come up. Now you can release the strap, relax the arms, and then we'll just set up for the second side. Okay, so, you know, we were in the side stretch like this before. The only difference now is we're taking the arms back, holding tight on that strap, rolling the top shoulder back. And if you feel like it, keep lifting the arms up off away from your back. Okay, and breathe. So this is pretty intense. I wouldn't, you know, do this maybe with someone who had never done yoga before, because people aren't used to the work in the shoulders, but all of you are used to listening to your bodies, I know. Come up and just release the strap. Bring the feet together. We'll draw a circle here. Inhale, exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale, exhale. Do you remember Bhu Mudra? It's spelled B-H-U. It's like a peace sign, but your index and middle fingers come together. And we'll just hold the arms along by our sides with the index and middle fingers pointing towards the earth. And Bhu relates to the earth in Sanskrit. So this is a mudra for grounding and centering ourselves. And it's nice when your days get busy or you have a lot on your mind, you just can feel a little scattered sometimes. So I like these gestures that really help us to feel solid and present on the earth in the moment here and now. Okay, from Bhu Mudra, let's have another little shake. I think before we come back to seated, I would like to do a chair downward dog. And you always have the choice. I'm going to go to the seat of the chair, and you can face right towards your screen, but this will be a better visual if I turn sideways. So this is a super high back to this chair, and it would be a good example if you don't want to have your head down as far. You could go to the back of your chair like this. I'll have my back to you, but you know, you can even go to a wall and get a stretch like that if you don't want to have your head down at all. But then it may be, since we've done a lot to get nice and warm and flexible today, it may be that you're comfortable bringing your hands to the seat of the chair. So the chair downward dog, as we've done before, involves bringing your hands to whichever part of the chair you'd like, and then walking the feet back. Now, I like to bend the legs and, just feel that elongation of the spine. And we have the effects of gravity during the day, which are, kind of compressing the body. And this counters that. And I'll show the plank pose, and you can do it if your wrists and shoulders agree to it, just walking the feet back and coming forward. Now, make sure your chair is not going to slip or slide because that would not be safe. I'm going to go back to down dog. And I like to relax my head in down dog and just, notice if the increased blood flow to the head feels okay here. And then maybe one more round of plank. Okay, this is good for bone density. It's weight bearing, so it's a strengthening exercise. Now we'll come up slowly. And for that, you can walk your feet towards the chair and maybe even pause halfway. And then come up just little by little so your body can recalibrate. And we're nice and tall and steady. Give a shake if you want to. And why don't we, there's so many things that we could add here, but I don't want to make it a practice that leaves everyone exhausted. So I'll save some things for next time. But one more thing before we sit down, I think it is worthwhile to just work our balance a little bit more. So anywhere you'd like to be, but possibly having the chair right nearby. And we can do something that's not too complicated at all, which is simply to lift one foot off the floor. Now, if you do want to make it more complicated, you can lower and lift your foot like so. But any little bit of standing on one leg is really good practice. And then we'll want to see how the other side feels. Okay, maybe the same, it may be different. Ooh. Okay, so this is great. This is great. A little lowering and lifting if you want to. Okay, so getting that work in for our balance. And then happily 2 feet to the floor, breathe in and breathe out. And then if you remember this, it's called drawing down the heavens. Palms press up, breathe in. Palms press down as you breathe out. And we've had some good strengthening and balancing here standing today. So let us adjust our chairs and we'll come back down to seated. And I think we have time. We could use the strap maybe just briefly for the lower body. And then, of course, we'll have time for relaxation. If you have some water handy, it's a good chance to hydrate a little bit. Just see if I'm where I want to be. Actually, that looks about right. Good. So we'll come on down. And I always just like a moment or two to kind of, create a safe landing here. And the movement I often do is that shifting the shoulder and the hip forward and back. And just feel yourself nice and comfortable back in your chair. And then why don't we go ahead and make use of the strap one more time. And we've done this set before. It works nicely with something that resembles a strap because it's a little hard to reach your foot otherwise. So I'll have you start with your right leg. And I'm going to turn a little bit sideways. You're going to be extending your foot right towards the screen there. But if I do this, then my foot isn't coming right at you. And also you can better see. One leg is bent, one leg is straight. And with that strap to the ball of the foot, I'm pulling the toes back. So it really strengthens or stretches rather the back of the leg, the ankle, the calf. Okay, now please listen to, hips and other things as you consider if it's your right leg. I think I said your right leg. Consider taking it out to the right and maybe look to your left. Okay, and then if this works for you and hips are a factor here, so come to the front and switch hands. All right, and if it works for you, you can slightly take your leg across the midline and look to your right. So very deep stretch to the outer hip. Some people, if they've had hip surgery or whatever, may not want to do this. Most people I know are fine even after hip surgery, but you'll know what your situation is. Okay, with the strap, you can lift the ankle to the thigh. If you do not want to do what I call the figure four, we'll keep our straps handy here. You could have 2 feet to the floor. Your ankle in front of your shin or cross like so. Otherwise, just a couple of breaths here in figure 4. We won't hang out too long here today, but just a nice chance to say hello to our hip joint. And what I have been taking recently, if you have room for this, it might be hard with the chair there, but is to take the arms back and to fold forward. Okay, so one needs to be mindful of what the hip has to say, and the knee also. Great, so that is the seated pigeon or figure 4 to one side. And we'll release. Just get a little relaxing patter here. Now we do everything to both sides. So we will take the strap to your left foot, I believe. And again, you can face right towards me. I'm going a little bit sideways just so I don't have the leg coming straight into your screen. But I'm pulling the toes back and sitting tall. And I'm going to consider taking the leg out to the side. Okay. So wherever you get to now, your leg could be much lower than mine. I'm used to doing this, so I'm lifting pretty high. I'm going to look away from the direction the leg is going. So for you, I believe to your right. And then just come forward. And you can switch hands. Now, if you're comfortable, you'll just take the leg a little bit across the midline. Doesn't go too far, but just enough so you feel the stretch of the outer hip and thigh there. And look to your left. Now, if you're interested in the seated pigeon, figure 4, you'll take your ankle to your thigh. You can release the strap. And you could also, as I said on the first side, have your feet like this or a leg like this. Okay, figure 4, seated pigeon. We want to be aware of our knees as well as our hips. And just reach up, breathe in, breathe out. And then not for the faint of heart, but if you're in the mood, extend the arms back, come forward just for a couple seconds. And then back up. Sometimes I'll be, I don't know, visiting people or something, and I just see people sit like this. I always feel like saying, oh, you're really flexible in your hips, because some people just kind of hang out, cross their leg and sit like this. Most of us maybe not, but there are people who take the seated pigeon without even knowing it. Okay, we'll uncross. And I'm just going to begin our cool down here. So let's take a forward fold, walk the feet forward a little bit, and come part way, or as I offered before, farther down towards the floor with your head. Take a couple nice deep breaths. And then as you come up, I know it's not freezing cold in Tucson today by any means, but I'm just going to finish with something from Qigong, which is nice when it's chilly out, or if you just want to kind of wake yourself up a little. And this is more just to kind of feel that we've completed the practice in terms of good circulation. So in Qigong, they do quite a bit of patting and sort of clapping and tapping and things like that. And you can just go down your legs and then up the calves, back to the thighs. You can gently do your tummy, gently your lower back. And then fingertips maybe to your sternum. Take some deep breaths here under the collarbones. And we'll finish with a pat, pat, pat down the arm, up the arm, around the shoulder there. Other side. So I don't do this, like you have to go down this part of the arm and up this part. Just however you end up patting is good. And then just lift the chin and brush from the jaw down to the collarbones. And this is good for lymphatic drainage. So that patting, will make you feel nice and warm, I think. It's relaxing. And as you finish this final movement, we'll bring the hands down. And just considering if there's anything else you'd like to add. So there are many more things, of course, specific stretches for the hands. Eventually we'll get into some eye exercises, but I just want you to pretty much feel complete in the practice for now. If you have a pillow handy, with this big old chair I'm in, it actually has a back to it that would support the pillow. So I might put it there for a little lumbar support. You can also sit on the pillow if you have a hard or firm surface that you're working on. then we'll just kind of continue those last little movements and, really, again, just feeling complete in the practice. I think we got into most of the areas of the body, the ankles, the arms, certainly the legs, the neck. So just get yourself comfy, and as you sit nice and comfortably on your chair, you can have that choice again of softening the gaze or closing the eyes. And your palms may rest on your thighs, or you may cup one hand in the other. But here, just take a full breath in, imagining, visualizing, feeling that you're oxygenating the whole body. And exhale. You can even make some sound as you release. We'll do that again. Inhale and exhale. And then just begin to allow the breath to find its natural rhythm. Steady and smooth. And this will certainly have a calming effect. And it gives the body and the brain the message that everything is fine. So we don't need to effort. We certainly don't need to think about thoughts for the future or the past. We will enjoy being here and now, digesting what we've done, refreshing and refueling. And there's nothing more we need to do. Just dropping back, releasing, relaxing, and letting go completely. And we'll be in silence, so we're still connected, of course, but we'll just be still and steady just for a little bit here to really absorb the practice that we've shared today. Stay here a little longer. Again, just appreciate the steadiness of the breath, the quietude, the comfort of our surroundings. Just a little bit longer in stillness. And at this point, we'll stay still. You can keep your eyes closed even. And just attune to your body. Feel your body heavy on the chair, solid on the earth. And then we can take in this feeling of calm that we've arrived at. And it's so significant because once we attune to this place of calm, we can really carry it with us off of our chairs on into the day, into the week as well. And now little by little, we'll add movement, fingers and toes, hands and feet. And just reawakening. When you're ready, you can blink and adjust to the light. It's a little overcast here today, but nonetheless, it's always bright when we open our eyes. I'm going to remove my pillow. We're just going to finish with a little final stretch here. I'm going to shift a little farther forward on the chair. And just to get into the hands finally here, we'll breathe in. You can keep the spine long, but press the palms forward. Reach out wide. We'll do that one more time. Breathing in and breathing out. And then if you have room side to side, just take the arms wide open and close the hands. And like little raindrops going down to the earth, flutter the fingers. And then we'll close, bringing the hands to what's called prayer position, Anjali Mudra, the palms together at the heart center. And I always really appreciate this final moment as a chance to take in the good energy that we've generated together. You can close the eyes if you'd like, and just come back to your intention, your affirmation, your thought for the practice or for the day, if you have one. And let's just take one more big breath in, releasing the hands. You can open the eyes a little if you want to. Breathe in and breathe out. And I'll thank you all so much for joining me today. I'm going to finish with the words Om Shanti, Shanti, Shalom, Peace. And with peace within and around me. I wish you a great day, a great week. Namaste, my light and energy. Appreciate your light and energy.